Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. In this series on Majjhima Patipada, that is the middle path, we have so far 6 talks. Today is the 7th one, and the subject is is the steering a mid-course or a middle course through the journey of life. And the analogy of a steer or steering wheel in a car is interesting. You see, a driver has mastery over the car exactly because he has complete control over the steering wheel. The purpose of this device, steering wheel, is to control the vehicle, control the direction of the car, the direction in which it is moving, and thereby it directs the entire the course of journey. So a person, there are these 3 pursuits. We have discussed already the 2 pursuits of, one is a pursuit of pleasure, the other is a pursuit of pain, and the third is the pursuit of spirituality, Dhamma. And that is going to be the subject today. Now, pursuit of pleasure and pain as religious, extreme religious practices, really, you see, is like a river that perpetuates and prolongs samsaric bondage. Both pleasure and pain arise from 2 things. One is ignorance and the other is craving. Because of craving to exist, bhavatanha, and supported by ignorance, unknowing, the abysmal darkness of unknowing. Now, these are the 2 factors responsible for these 2 pursuits which perpetuate samsaric existence and dukkha in that way, and suffering. Now Lord Buddha discovered the middle way, the middle path, the pursuit of spirituality which is within us already. And all that is required is we have to organize our lives, manage ourselves in such a way as to be able to rouse the positive and the good and the noble qualities within us. So middle path approach is just that. It's a mid-course progression in the journey of life. Life is a journey. It has a beginning, it has an end. And journey has, you see, it has a goal, a destination, and it begins somewhere. So life also is the same thing. So life has a beginning and it definitely has an end in death. One is born only to die, and in between death and birth you keep on accumulating karma, this karmic potency, power, and that catapults at the end of life, that catapults a person to a new state of existence, and one is reborn in a new plane of existence. So this birth, death and rebirth, this wheel of life goes on and on and on, endlessly, aimlessly. And these religious practices which are supposed to ennoble the human mind, human being, but if they are motivated by avidya bhavatanha, ignorance and the craving for existence, to continue to exist, these two factors motivate. And that is how the samsaric bondage is perpetuated by these so-called, the religious practices. Now, Buddha's discovery of the Four Noble Truths enabled the seekers of truth to have a third alternative, and that is the pursuit of Dhamma in day-to-day life. And that is middle path. And it boils down to, two things last time we mentioned, that it boils down to number one, a course of training oneself with a purpose, with a goal to achieve something. And I gave the example in a family. The father happened to be an athlete and a champion one, and then later on he became a professor, and he was, he had connection with these sports events and so on. Now his son was just the opposite. He was a rickety fellow who never cared about sports or games or anything. He was a book lover, and a book, So the father managed to get this boy, and the whole family in fact, to witness an event, a very big sports event. And this boy was completely, taken up by that, and he decided to develop his muscles like his father. And he became a champion too by training the body. So here he trained the body and became a bodybuilder and a big champion in that particular, event. So here the middle path course is training oneself in mind, in building the mind. Mind is a mind, M-I-N-E. It is absolutely filled with precious things and any amount, any quantity. So now it's a matter of managing this mind. You see. So the pursuit of spirituality or Dhamma simply means that you manage yourself in such a way that you get the best out of yourself. You don't need to go outside yourself at all. So now, the very first step in this pursuit of spirituality is Shila. There are 5 steps in Shila, in the development of virtue or moral development. Development of moral purity. You see, it's a training in morality. Morality deals with what is good, what is bad, and why a thing is good and why a thing is bad. And if a thing is bad, it should be avoided. It should be done away with. And if it is good, it should be cultivated and developed. That is the purpose of morality. Now, Shila therefore is the foundation of the middle path approach. Steering life through a mid-course, through a middle course that avoids all the accidents and difficulties in a journey. Now the driver, a good motor driver, he knows that if he has complete control over the steering wheel, he has control over the entire journey and over the entire the vehicle itself. So, like this steering, we have the mind. And if we know how to steer this mind, control this mind and thereby enable it to direct life from the bondage of samsara to the freedom of Nibbana. It's as simple as that. But not easy. Indeed, very difficult. But that which is difficult is precious, not cheap. That which is easy is cheap, useless, worthless. That which is difficult is worthy. So the path of Sila may not be very easy. It may be difficult for some or for many, but it is worthwhile. That is the story in Dhammapada. The Gatha 246 to 248, I will read it out. Yopanang atipateti musavadan cha bhasati loke adinnang adiyati paradaran cha gacchati suramera panancha yonaro anuyunjati ideva solo kasming mulang khanati attano evam bho purisho janahi papadhamma asanyata matang lobho adhammo cha chirang dukkha yarandhayum. One who destroys life, utters lies, takes what is not given, that is steals, goes to another man's wife and is addicted to intoxicating drinks. Such a man digs up his own root even in this very life, in this very world. Know this, O good man, evil things are difficult to control. Let not greed and wickedness drag you to protracted misery. Yes, evil things are very difficult to control, but that is the only way you can get out of it. So Sila, there are these 5 steps, you see, in managing the most precious power called Sila, virtue. Now these 5 steps are Sila Sikha. Sila as a mode of training oneself in virtue, in moral practice. By training means instilling discipline and self-restraint within ourselves. Sikha here means actually ability to discipline. Sikha is discipline. Sikha means vinayam. Yo sikhati so vineti. He who trains himself, he brings about self-restraint and disciplines himself. So when a person has undertaken the Panchashila, that's a panacea, that's a medicine for all diseases, which Lord Buddha prescribed. And a person who voluntarily undertakes to practice these Panchashilas, the 5 precepts of moral purity, he or she can see the change in life in matter of days. If you sincerely pursue this course of disciplining yourself by training yourself on the 5 precepts, the result will be fantastic. A flower has value and it is loved because of the fragrance. So when a person, trains himself in sila, in moral precepts, it is like he is, developing what is called virtue, the power of the fragrance of virtue, the power and potency of virtue. So Sila Sikha is meant for Sila Bhavana, development of virtue. In the Dhammapada again, you have these verses 54 to 56. Na puppha gandho pativatameti na chandanang tagara mallikava satancha gandho pativatameti sabbati sa sappuriso pavati. Not the sweet smell of flowers, not even the fragrance of sandalwood, tagara or jasmine flower blows against the wind. But the fragrance of the virtuous man or woman blows against the wind indeed. Truly the virtuous man pervades all directions with the fragrance of his virtue. So virtue has a fragrance. Of all the fragrances, sandal or tagara or blue lotus or jasmine, the fragrance of virtue indeed is by far the sweetest. This is Dhammapada 55, verse number 55. So he says, faint is the fragrance of tagara, a very powerful fragrance indeed, the tagara flower, and sandal. But excellent indeed, is the fragrance of the virtuous, wafting even amongst the gods. The fragrance of virtue reaches the gods. Wonderful idea. And it's a fact. A virtuous man attracts the attention of these devas. A virtuous man can actually determine to get, help and all kinds of things which the devas are able to give or able to, provide. A virtuous man in Ceylon, a monk, I will give from Vishuddhimagga, I will give a little story, it's worthwhile. For 60 years he lived in a little cave. He had undertaken the Shila that he will not allow his eyes to go up, going around here and there and see this object, that object, and then get, all this seeing or having no control over the senses. He will have perception of these scenery, whatever he sees, that will occur in the mind again, in the form of, he will just memory, he will remember all those, and that will come on the way to his meditative practice, and he can never achieve, any higher meditative experiences. So, he undertook to restrain his eyes, all the senses, the restraint over the senses. So he never looked this way up and all, no. From morning till night, he spent the whole day in meditating or studying or doing something. The life of a seclusion, complete cut off from the world. And he was preparing himself. And he used to go for Pindapata and bring his, live on that. Very simple life, a life completely dedicated to spiritual development. people came to know about him. The king also came to know about him, and the king of the country at that time was a rather conceited person. He thought he can get the darshan of this monk in his palace and he will order him to come. So he sent a man, one of his ministers, he said, go and tell him, the king wants to see you. He wants to have a darshan by ordering the monk to come and give him darshan. What a wonderful idea. But this is what the people in power, they get so deluded about themselves. So this king did that. And this monk, he didn't care. He just ignored the whole thing. For the second time, again this minister came. He says, Mante, please come on, otherwise my life will be miserable. I said, look here, that's your business, not mine.